Have you ever stepped out of the salon with a fresh pixie cut and thought to yourself, "Oh dear, why do I look older instead of younger?" You are not alone. At 60 and beyond, we are no longer chasing every trend. We are searching for a style that feels effortless, that makes us look polished without trying too hard, and most importantly, a style that truly celebrates who we are today. With over 10 years of helping women over 60 embrace their beauty, I have seen the joy that the right pixie cut can bring. American women at this age want what is timeless: confidence, elegance, and a look that says classic Hollywood charm, even while running errands or enjoying time with family. A pixie can be all of that, when done right. In today's video, I am going to share the 6 most common mistakes women make with pixie cuts after 60, and more importantly, how to avoid them so your hair becomes your best accessory. Stay with me until the end, because I will reveal one secret detail that can transform an ordinary pixie into a personal signature style. If you find this helpful, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss tips designed just for women like us. And please share your thoughts in the comments, because your story might inspire someone else watching. Mistake 1. Choosing a pixie cut that doesn't fit your face shape. Have you ever seen a pixie cut on someone else and thought, "That's stunning, I want that look," only to realize later it didn't flatter your own face shape? This is one of the most common mistakes women over 60 make when they go short. A pixie cut can absolutely be chic and youthful, but only when it's tailored to your unique features. One size simply doesn't fit all. Let's break it down. Women generally fall into 4 main face shapes: round, square, long, and oval. Each shape has strengths that the right pixie can highlight. If you have a round face, a pixie that's too short and blunt can make your cheeks look even fuller. The solution is to add height at the crown and keep a little length on the sides to create the illusion of a longer, slimmer face. For a square face, the goal is to soften strong jawlines. Textured layers and wispy ends work beautifully to bring balance and add femininity. If your face is on the longer side, avoid styles that create too much height on top. Instead, choose a cut that's fuller at the sides to visually widen your face. Finally, if you have an oval face, lucky you, almost any pixie variation works. The key is finding one that suits your personality, whether it's sleek, tousled, or softly layered. I'll give you a real-life story. Linda, a 65-year-old from California, came into the salon with a round face and a very short, blunt pixie she had copied from a magazine. She felt frustrated because it made her look heavier than she really was. Together, we reshaped it into a softer pixie with a side-swept fringe that framed her face. The difference was remarkable. Linda said her friends kept telling her she looked at least 5 years younger, and more importantly, she finally felt confident again. And let me share something personal. I am in my early 60s, and for years I wore my pixie a little too sharp for my square jawline. I didn't realize until a stylist suggested soft, feathered layers that I could look both stylish and approachable. The small change transformed not just my hair, but the way I felt about myself in photos and social gatherings. It taught me that a pixie should never fight against your features. It should celebrate them. Now let me ask you, have you ever struggled to figure out your face shape before a haircut? Do you usually bring in photos of celebrities, or do you trust your stylist to guide you? Think about how many times we fall in love with a haircut on someone else without considering whether it really fits us. So here is the takeaway. A pixie cut is not about copying a trend. It is about designing a look that feels like it was made for you. If you're not sure, ask your stylist to walk you through what will flatter your specific face shape. Don't be afraid to speak up, because your haircut should make you feel comfortable, confident, and radiant at any age. And remember, this is just the first step. Once you find the right shape, there are still other key elements to consider that can make or break your pixie journey. Curious? Let's keep going together. Mistake 2. Ignoring your natural hair texture. One of the biggest reasons why some pixie cuts look amazing on women over 60 and others fall flat is texture. In the United States, many women in their 60s and 70s notice their hair changing in ways they never expected. Some see their strands become finer and thinner, while others notice their hair turning coarser or more curly as more gray comes in. These changes are natural, but they matter a lot when it comes to choosing the right pixie cut. If your hair is fine or thinning, going too short or adding too many choppy layers can make your hair look flat and lifeless. Instead, the trick is to create the illusion of fullness. A slightly longer pixie with soft, subtle layers gives movement without exposing the scalp. Think of it as building gentle volume that makes your hair appear thicker. I have a friend, Susan from Arizona, who is 66 and has very fine silver hair. When she tried a cropped pixie, she felt it showed too much of her scalp. After adjusting to a longer layered pixie, she suddenly looked radiant, and she told me people kept asking if she had gotten new color, even though it was just the cut that made the difference. Now, for those of us with thick or naturally curly hair, the problem is often the opposite. Too much bulk can make a pixie feel heavy and unmanageable. The solution is to thin out the weight with blended layers while keeping the curls defined and soft. I always say, work with your curl pattern, not against it. Maria, a 70-year-old Latina woman I met in Florida, had naturally curly, voluminous hair. When she first tried a short, blunt pixie, she hated how puffy it felt. We reshaped it into a textured pixie that followed her curls instead of fighting them. The result was stunning, and Maria told me it became her signature look. Everywhere she went, people complimented her vibrant energy. Speaking from my own experience, I spent years struggling with coarse gray strands. I used to flatten them down with heavy creams, thinking it would make me look more polished. Instead, it only made my pixie feel stiff and lifeless. Once I switched to a cut that allowed my texture to breathe, with light layers and a little movement, I finally felt like my hair was working with me, not against me. It made my mornings easier, and I no longer dreaded styling. Let me ask you, do you feel your hair texture has changed in the past few years? Have you noticed it becoming thinner or curlier as more gray comes in? How do you usually deal with those changes? Thinking about these questions before your next haircut can help you make a decision that feels right for you. The truth is, no two heads of hair are alike, especially after 60. That is why your pixie should be designed with your unique texture in mind. The right cut can make your hair look fuller, softer, or more balanced, depending on what you need. And remember, the most flattering pixie is always the one that feels effortless and true to you. Once you understand how texture plays a role, you will see that it is only one part of creating a pixie that really works. There are still other details that can completely transform how your style turns out, and you will want to know them before you step into the salon chair again. Mistake 3: overlooking the power of bangs. When women over 60 think of a pixie cut, many forget about the role of bangs. Yet the truth is, bangs can completely transform the way your hairstyle frames your face. In the United States, a lot of women in their 60s and 70s have a higher forehead or may want to soften the look of forehead lines. Ignoring bangs often means missing out on one of the simplest tricks to add softness and youthfulness to your look. Let's talk about why bangs matter. A heavy, blunt bang can sometimes feel overwhelming, hiding your features instead of enhancing them. On the other hand, a soft, lightweight fringe can be like a magic filter. Curtain bangs that gently part in the middle create a natural frame for the eyes and can take years off your appearance. Side-swept bangs are another option that highlight cheekbones while covering just enough of the forehead to soften fine lines. The beauty of both styles is that they are versatile and do not require a lot of upkeep. I remember one client in New York, a 68-year-old woman who came to me saying she felt her forehead wrinkles made her look tired. She had been avoiding bangs because she thought they were only for younger women. Together, we added a soft curtain bang to her pixie. The difference was immediate. Her eyes looked brighter, her smile more radiant, and she told me her grandchildren even said, "Grandma, you look amazing." That moment reminded me how small adjustments can make a big impact. From my own experience, I used to wear my pixie without bangs because I thought it looked cleaner. But as I got into my 60s, I noticed my forehead lines becoming more visible in photos. When I finally added a light side-swept bang, I couldn't believe how much fresher I looked. It felt like I had given myself a little lift without doing anything drastic. It also made styling easier, since the bang gave my hair a natural direction to fall into place. Now let me ask you, have you ever avoided bangs because you thought they might make you look too youthful or too trendy? Or maybe you tried a heavy fringe that felt like too much and decided bangs were not for you at all? What if the right kind of bang could be the missing piece to make your pixie feel balanced and flattering? The key is to think of bangs not as an afterthought, but as a tool. They can highlight your best features, whether that is your eyes, your smile, or your cheekbones. According to recent beauty surveys in 2024, more women over 60 are embracing softer fringes as part of their pixie styles, and many say it gives them a boost of confidence in daily life. That confidence shows whether you are at a family gathering, running errands, or enjoying a night out with friends. So, the next time you sit in your stylist's chair, consider asking about a fringe that complements your face. It might be the simplest change that makes you feel refreshed and vibrant again. And once you start seeing bangs as your ally, you will be ready to explore even more ways to elevate your pixie cut. Mistake 4. Skipping regular maintenance. One of the biggest challenges with a pixie cut is how quickly it loses its shape. Unlike longer hairstyles that can grow out more gracefully, a pixie usually starts to look uneven within 4 to 6 weeks. The clean lines, the sharp edges, and the fresh style you loved at first can easily turn into something shapeless if you do not keep up with trims. This is especially true in the United States, where many women over 60 live busy lives filled with travel, community activities, and family responsibilities. It is easy to put off a salon visit when the calendar is full. Before you know it, the cut that once made you feel stylish begins to feel more like a hassle. Instead of looking effortlessly polished, the extra growth can make your hair appear bulky in some spots and thin in others. The best solution is to think of trims not as an inconvenience but as a self-care ritual. Just like you would schedule a medical checkup or a fitness class, booking your hair appointment in advance can make all the difference. Many stylists now recommend setting appointments every 4 to 6 weeks, and research from 2024 beauty industry reports shows that clients who keep a consistent trim schedule report higher satisfaction with short hairstyles overall. By treating your salon visits as part of your well-being routine, you give yourself permission to feel good about your appearance without added stress. I once worked with a client in Texas, a 62-year-old woman named Patricia. She loved her pixie at first, but decided to stretch her trims to every 3 months. Over time, her hair lost its clean shape and started to look puffy. She admitted she felt less put together and even hesitated to attend social gatherings. When she finally returned to regular 4-week trims, the change was dramatic. Friends told her she looked chic again, and Patricia herself said she felt more confident in every aspect of her daily life. I can relate to her story. For a period, I also pushed my appointments out too far, thinking I could save time and money. But the truth was, I spent more effort every morning trying to style hair that simply would not cooperate. Once I went back to consistent trims, I realized my pixie looked good with minimal effort. It was a reminder that maintenance is not just about appearance, it is also about making life easier. Now let me ask you, do you currently schedule your trims ahead of time? Or do you usually wait until your hair feels unmanageable? Have you noticed how your mood shifts when your hair starts to lose its shape? These small details often have a bigger impact on our confidence than we realize. The bottom line is this: maintaining a pixie cut is not about being high maintenance, it is about honoring yourself. A quick trim every few weeks can save you from the frustration of fighting with your hair each morning and keep you looking effortlessly polished. Once you embrace maintenance as part of your self-care, you will discover that there are other choices you can make with your pixie that bring just as much transformation, and those details are worth exploring next. Mistake 5. Choosing the wrong hair color. The color of your pixie cut is just as important as the cut itself. In fact, the right shade can make you look radiant and refreshed. while the wrong one can add years to your appearance. Many women in the United States over 60 still fall into two common traps. The first is going too dark. A jet black or very deep brown shade can look harsh against mature skin, casting shadows and emphasizing fine lines. The second mistake is going too light. Platinum or very cool-toned blondes may look trendy, but they often wash out the complexion and make the skin appear pale and tired. The better choice is to find a balanced middle ground. Neutral tones with a touch of warmth can brighten your face without overwhelming your natural coloring. Think soft caramel highlights for brunettes, golden or honey tones for blondes, and silvery accents for those embracing their grays. The silver beauty trend has become especially strong in the United States since 2024, with more women proudly wearing their natural gray and enhancing it with subtle dimension rather than covering it up. Surveys by beauty magazines in 2025 show that over 40% of women over 60 are now choosing to highlight or blend their grays instead of opting for a single solid dye. One of the most inspiring examples is Jamie Lee Curtis. She has made her natural silver pixie iconic, proving that gray can be stylish, modern, and full of personality. By embracing her natural color, she has not only influenced fashion but also given countless women permission to celebrate their own beauty at any age. Let me share something personal. I once dyed my hair a very dark brown, thinking it would give me a bold and youthful edge. Instead, I noticed it made my skin look dull, and every wrinkle seemed deeper. When I eventually lightened my shade and added soft highlights, the difference was dramatic. My friends told me I looked more relaxed and even healthier. That experience taught me that hair color should complement who you are now, not who you used to be. Now I want to ask you, have you ever tried a hair color that just did not feel right? Did it make you look older, or maybe even less like yourself? Have you considered embracing your natural gray, or do you still feel more comfortable with color? These are important questions because the answer can completely change how confident you feel in your pixie cut. The truth is, your pixie should not only match your face shape and texture, but also your skin tone and personality. The right color can give you an instant lift, making you look vibrant and confident. So before your next salon appointment, think carefully about whether your current shade is truly serving you. Once you see how color impacts your overall look, you will realize there are even more subtle details that can elevate your pixie to the next level. And exploring those details can be just as exciting as the transformation itself. Mistake 6. Cutting too short right away. One of the most common challenges women over 60 face when trying a pixie cut is going too short too quickly. Hair is not just hair at this stage of life. It carries identity, memories, and a sense of comfort. Making a drastic change overnight can feel liberating for some, but for many, it can be shocking and even disappointing. When you look in the mirror and see a version of yourself that feels unfamiliar, it can take a toll on your confidence. The psychology of change is powerful. Experts often remind us that gradual transitions are easier to embrace, especially with something as personal as hair. Going from shoulder-length or even chin-length hair straight into a cropped pixie can make you feel exposed, and it leaves little room to adjust. If you are not fully in love with the result, you cannot grow it back quickly. That is why easing into the pixie world with a longer version is such a smart move. Starting with a longer pixie gives you flexibility. You can keep softness around the ears and neckline, or add layers that provide movement without feeling too severe. Once you get comfortable with the look, you can always go shorter at your next appointment. This step-by-step approach helps you build confidence while giving you time to adapt to your new style. I remember one client in Florida, a 64-year-old woman named Carol. She was curious about cutting her long bob into a pixie, but admitted she was nervous. We began with a longer pixie that grazed her jawline. It was flattering, easy to style, and made her feel fresh without feeling shocked by the change. 6 months later, Carol was ready to go shorter, and when she finally did, she loved it. She told me that if she had gone short right away, she might have regretted it, but because we took it slowly, She felt empowered every step of the way. Speaking from my own experience, I once made the mistake of cutting too short at once. I thought I wanted a dramatic change, but when I saw myself in the mirror, I felt like a stranger. It took months to grow it back, and during that time I felt frustrated. Later, when I tried again with a longer pixie first, I realized that pacing myself made the transition feel exciting instead of overwhelming. So let me ask you, have you ever made a big change to your hair and felt regret right after? Do you think you would feel more comfortable testing the waters with a longer pixie before going very short? Sometimes the best way to embrace a new style is by taking it step by step. The reality is that a pixie cut should make you feel free and confident, not trapped or uncertain. By easing into it, you give yourself the chance to discover what length truly makes you shine. Once you feel comfortable with the transition, you may find yourself ready to explore even more ways to personalize your pixie and make it uniquely yours. Extra tips to elevate your pixie. A pixie cut shines brightest when paired with the right details. For women in the United States over 60, accessories are a simple way to elevate the look. Earrings draw attention to your face, whether it is classic pearls or bold hoops. Chic eyeglasses add sophistication, while a soft scarf can bring warmth and elegance. Lifestyle choices matter too. A pixie works beautifully with a minimalist wardrobe. Clean lines, simple colors, and understated outfits let your hairstyle take center stage. I often find that when I dress simply, my pixie feels more modern and confident. Products also make a difference. Lightweight mousse adds volume, a shine serum keeps silver strands radiant, and a texture spray brings natural movement. Reports from 2024 show more women over 55 are reaching for texture sprays, proving the desire for effortless styling is on the rise. Personally, a small drop of shine serum has been my go-to for keeping my hair polished without feeling heavy. We can also take inspiration from icons like Judi Dench, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Sharon Stone, who show that a pixie can be timeless, bold, and glamorous at any age. I have seen the same in salons, where in just 1 hour a tired look can turn into a confident new beginning. What about you? Do you enjoy dressing up your pixie with accessories, or do you prefer keeping it simple? Once you start adding these personal touches, your pixie becomes more than a haircut. It becomes part of your signature style, ready to evolve with you. We've talked through the 6 most common pixie cut mistakes, and more importantly, the simple solutions that can keep you looking polished, youthful, and confident. Remember, being 60 or 70 does not mean hiding your age. A beautiful pixie is more than a haircut. It is a statement. It says to the world, I am still vibrant, still stylish, and still full of life. So here is my encouragement to you. Embrace your unique beauty. Celebrate your silver strands if you choose. And never be afraid to let your hairstyle reflect your personality. I would love to hear your story. Have you ever had a pixie that completely changed the way you felt about yourself? Share it in the comments, because your journey might inspire another woman watching today. And if you want more tips, be sure to subscribe. In upcoming videos, we'll explore pixie styles for every face shape and the best colors that can make you look 10 years younger.